Alright, listen, what are we? 5.6. And I told you I'm switching the assignment up a little bit. It's all of page 8 and then all of page 9 except for the very last problem. You'll learn how to do that one on Monday. I'm going to switch it up. We're just going to do slope formulas today. Monday we'll do parallel and perpendicular. Alright, we already said this looks familiar. Rise over run. Rise is vertical. Run, horizontal. Now this is the formula for finding the slope when given 2 points. Practicing on the first one. Let's make that bigger. First thing you want to do is what? Label them so you don't get them mixed up. I still like to label mine. And our formula, m equals y1 minus y2 or y2 minus y1. Which one would you rather do? 4 minus 5 or 5 minus 4?
5 minus 4.
Okay, your y's are always on the top, x is on the bottom. And since we use this one first, we got to use this one first on the bottom. Negative 10 minus 8, right?
Negative 8.
Right. They're not nice. They're not just going to give you this negative sign. It's a negative 10 minus a minus 8. So what does that turn into? A negative times a negative is a? That turns into a plus 8. So now our slope equals what? What's 5 minus 4? 1 over a negative 10 and a positive 8? A negative 2. So my slope is a negative 1/2. If we have a negative sign, what do we assign it to? The top. So we have a negative 1/2 for our what?
Slope.
Our slope. That is the slope of that line. All right, let's do this one. Slope equals, let's do this one first, 7 minus a minus 2, all over 3 minus 3. What do I get for my numerator answer here? What is 7 minus a minus 2?
9.
Blurt it out.
9.
Because this turns into plus 2, so I get a 9 for my numerator. What's my denominator? 0. Now who remembers from our slopes when we labeled them all that day, if 0's on the bottom, does that mean my slope is 0? Is that a flat slope like this and I'm bored? Or does it mean I'm a kamikaze and it's an undefined slope and it's don't know where I'm going to land? Right, because 0 on the bottom, that is bad. We don't know where you're going to land. So you can't just leave your answer as 9 over 0. You have to tell me that in a word, that is a word answer. That one is undefined. Your answer, the slope for that one would be undefined. So what kind of a line would that make on the graph? What would it look like on your graph? Vertical or horizontal? Or slanted? I'm seeing it. It is, we just talked about it, a vertical line. It would be like that on your graph. Right, C. What do we want for that one? How do you want to write it? What minus what for the y?
13 minus 5.
You want to do the 13 minus 5? So 13 minus the 5 on the top, so 4 minus 0 on the bottom. What's my numerator answer? 8 over
4.
which equals 2 over 1. I accept that as an answer, or what else? Or just 2, either one. Now if you'd have switched these around, you would have had 5 minus 13 over 0 minus 4. Just to show you that it still works out, 5 minus 13 is a negative 8. 0 minus 4 is a negative 4. Is that still the same? Because what is a negative divided by a negative? So it's still a positive, just like this turned out to be. So it's the same answer. You have a slope of 2 over 1, which equals 2. All right, give letter D a shot and hold up your answers on your board. How many wrote it this way? 6 minus 6 over negative 1 minus 4. How many wrote it this way? The other way around, 6 minus 6 over 4 minus a minus 1. Okay, either one you'll get the same answer. 6 minus 6 is 0 over negative 1 minus 4 is a negative 5, right? 6 minus 6, 0. 4 minus a minus 1, that means plus 1 over 5. Everybody's thinking that's not the same thing. Well, 0 divided by anything equals what? Still equals 0. So what is your slope? 0. Or if you want to just write the answer out in a word, 0. You have to write it as 0. You don't leave it like that, all right? I want to know that you know the difference between the 0 and the undefined. How about this one? Now we get into a table. Does this one match yours, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
I slide it down. Oh, it's hiding. There we go. So now instead of giving you 2 points, I'm giving you all sorts of points. Here, I give you what, 5 of them? 5 points. You can pick any 2 you want. You could use this one and do the y minus y over x minus x. But I can also show you a way to do patterns. Look at it and find a pattern. What do I have to do to a -6 to get a -5? If I minus 1, it's going to go to a -7.
I'd want it.
Add 1. Does that work here? -5 plus 1. Does that equal -4? So the pattern is plussing 1 here, isn't it? And that is on which side? The y. Does that go on the top or the bottom? The top. So I have a positive 1 up here. Now let's find the pattern on the x's side. What do I do over here? And if you don't like to do the negatives, come down here to the positives. What do I do to a 1 to go to a 2? I add 1. Here, add 1. So, put a positive 1 here. What is my slope? 1 over 1, or 1. That is your slope. If you would have went backwards, you would have, what would you do to a -2 to get a -3? You would -1, -1, -1. If you went from the bottom up, here you would -1, -1, -1. -1 over -1 still equals +1 over 1, right? Which is 1. So, but most people usually just go from top to bottom. You do what you like. How about here? What pattern do you see? Write it in a slope form. Hold it up. Hold up your answer on your board. All right, as we're looking around the classroom, I'm getting a -3 over 1 or -3, and then I'm getting a -1/3. So somebody switch their x's and their y's around. I'm going this way. What do we do to go from a -2 to a -1?
Plus
Plus 1.
1 to 2. I'm plussing 1 over here, aren't I? What am I doing here?
minus 3.
8 to 5 is a -3, right? Which one goes on top?
Minus 3.
The y, so a -3 over 1. I will accept that as an answer, or just a -3. Okay, give me the answer for that, please, on your whiteboards. I'm just going to look at my pattern here. What's my pattern? 0 to 2 is
Plus
2 to 4 plus 2. Looks like my pattern is a +2. What am I doing over here? 0 to 3
3.
plus 3. My pattern is a +3. Which one goes on top?
2.
2 over 3. That is my slope. So I would run to the right 3 and up 2. Right 3, up 2. Is this the next one that matches yours? All right, see what you come up with here. Hold your answer up on your boards, please. All right, lots of right answers out there this time. What's my pattern from here to here?
Plus 1.
+1, +1. Ooh, what did I do here, though? These are all the same, so what is it?
0.
I would just plus a 0 to each one, right? Okay, so the y is on top, so I put 0 and a +1 on the bottom. So is that 0 or undefined?
0.
That answer equals 0. Or even some of you wrote this up there, 0. Well done. All right. Is there another one on that page?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this one. Hold up your answer. Over here I had to add 0, so plus +0's, that's my x, so that goes on the top, right?
Bottom.
Yes, the bottom. What was my pattern here?
Plus one.
Now I can't just leave this one as 1 over 0. You had to write, what is your slope?
Undefined.
Undefined. Alright, that's where we're going to stop today. We're going to pick up here on Monday. So your homework pages 8 and all of 9, except for that very last one you won't know how to do on page 9, but 8 and 9 except for that last problem on 9.